So I am designated as the head of Europe and Unstoppable Domains, and my role focuses on go-to-market and partnerships out of the region. I joined the company about 4 months ago from Twitch, where I was the VP of Business Development for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Yeah, so I think the company was founded in 2018, and basically our founders were inspired about taking the domain naming system and using that as a means of creating registries that don't live on centralized servers. Over time, this inspiration grew in enabling user-owned digital identities that are not controlled by a few platforms, as is the case today in Web 2. And they believe that these domains can become the naming system for the new internet, enabling a new generation of creators and builders on the internet. So that's how really the company was founded and formed. Obviously, we evolved over time, and as of today, uh, uh, Unstoppable Domains is a leading NFT domain provider and digital identity service in Web3. Yeah, I think in the shortest form, our mission is returning power to the people. This entails enabling internet users to own and control their identities through NFT domain names. We've been very fortunate to have been backed by some of the very best investors in Web3 from the very beginning. And since being founded in 2018, we've grown exponentially. As of today, we are the largest NFT domain provider and digital identity service with over 2.4 million registered domains, and we have integrations with 300 plus of the top dApps, wallets, and exchanges, including Yield App now. It's a good one. It's a tough one. I think I can name a few. I think, of course, being the largest NFT domain provider with the most registered domains is one. The launch of our single sign-on login product, one username for the internet, and we'll talk a bit more about that. That's another one. Some truly innovative partnerships with like Field App most recently, of course. But I think perhaps the biggest achievement for us has been the user and partner community we've created. That's been, I think, that's big, one of the biggest assets, and they are a voice for us, and they are an amplifier for us in shouting about why user controlled and owned identities matter and how they can help users of the internet of the future simplify their crypto lives going forward and help them own the data. So I think that's the most powerful asset. We've got a very vibrant community. They help us propel our mission, and they help us bring more people to adopt NFT domain names. So I think that's the biggest achievement we've had to date. Yeah. I think so. I think as of today, there are broadly two use cases that stand out, and I'll speak a bit more about what's coming up in the future. So the first use case is simplifying uh, crypto payments. Uh, Juggling wallet addresses is tough, right? As a user, you have to, you want different cryptos in different wallets, and that leads to, and juggling those long wallet addresses can lead to errors, confusion, and losses for users. On the other side, for services like exchanges and dApps, that can create a lot of customer queries and that's expensive. So NFT domains solve for that. So as of today, what you can do is you can link hundreds of different cryptocurrencies to a wallet address in your domain management once you have minted your domain. From there onwards, your NFT domain name, like in my case, sajjadrehman.nft or sajjadrehman.crypto, can become your universal wallet address. So you don't have to juggle those wallet addresses anymore. You can essentially use that name to send and receive crypto. That again simplifies your crypto life, right? That's the first use case, I think, and it makes crypto, and it sort of ties into making crypto more accessible. And I think that's one of the key cornerstones for helping drive adoption for crypto in Web3 in the future. The second use case and product, I think that's super important to call out, is login. So onboarding to Web3 is hard. And I think it's hard both from a user's perspective as well as from a dApp or as service perspective. And I think on one end, users when they when they opt into a service. Currently in Web 2, they don't control the data. They are unable to utilize data for themselves going forward outside of that application. And we want to make sure that that is not the case going forward in the context of Web 3. So our login product allows users to permission data that they choose to while doing Wallet Connect in one seamless flow, right? This also helps the service that they're onboarding into or logging into, which where we are able to, where the service is able to do Wallet Connect, onboard the user and secure permission data and even verify humanity in one seamless flow. So really simplifying that whole experience of login while ensuring that the right transaction between the user in terms of data capture takes place, but the control remains in the hands of the user. Now, essentially, this then scales to hundreds of dApps today. So you can use one NFT domain name to log into hundreds of dApps. In the future, it will be thousands. And arguably, we can look at the whole Web3 to be logged in through one single username. So I think that's the second use case that's growing at a meteoric rate. I think over time, another use case that will take prominence is linking data back to NFT domain names. So as users start, onboarding to decentralized applications or with the NFT domain names, they will be able to link back data that they create on these services that then can be useful for them outside of these services, right? To get benefits from other decentralized applications, wallets, and exchanges. So I think that use case, again, it will have many shapes and forms in the context of Web3 gaming, in the context of DeFi. I can't, call them all out, but you can imagine, right, that if you're able to provide verifiable data about yourself through an identity you own, that can be very powerful going forward. And I think that's the third use case that we're really excited about. And I think that's going to be you'll be seeing a lot more of in the near term. Yeah, I think I'd like to start off with how our CEO puts it. So I think we believe that every crypto user will have an NFT domain name, and in the future, every internet user will become a crypto user. Now, every internet user will then connect services to an NFT domain name that they own. And by doing this, they will be able to not only control the data that they give out to those services or permission to the services, but also link back verifiable data that they create on those services that could prove to be valuable for them in other applications. So as a result, I see that NFT domain names and other naming system services that build around identity become the connecting thread of an open metaverse, right? So one identity lives and connects the metaverse, and users are able to use that to from app to app to get personalized services and personalized rewards and benefits from these services in an open, decentralized internet. So I think that's the future I'm really looking forward to. I think that's a powerful future, especially with there's being a very large shift from internet being only for people who are reading on it or who are socializing on it to people who are writing on it. I think that's going to be a really powerful tool for creators to really appropriate value and make the most of what they create on the internet. So I think that's the future I'm really looking forward to.